Afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to the February 19th Commission on Disability Issues meeting. I would like to start this afternoon with our traditional roll call, and I will start to my left with Larry Keeler and go around.
Larry Keeler, Commissioner.
Debbie Poster, Commissioner.
Kathleen Mozak-Betts, Commissioner.
Elizabeth Nelson, City Council Liaison.
Christiana Allen Pipkin, Commissioner.
I'm Zach Damon. I'm the chairman.
I'm Sally Hart Peterson. I'm the vice chairman.
Alex Gossage, Commissioner.
Corey Ferris, staff liaison.
All right. Wonderful. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me. Hopefully, all of you can thaw out this afternoon. It's pretty brisk out there. Next, I'd like to go to the approval of today's agenda. So just so you know, if you did not get a copy of the agenda electronically, or if you do not have one now in person and would like one, please let I or Corey know, and we can get you one at this time. But if you do have one, I'd like to take a couple of minutes to just review the agenda. If there are any corrections or anything that you would like to add or move up, we can discuss that at this time, and I'll give us a couple minutes to review. All right. So is there anything that we need corrected, or is there anything that we'd like to correct, or is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll move to approve.
All right, Larry moves to approve. Is there a second?
There's just a correction.
Okay.
It said approval of December 18th meeting minutes. I think that was meant for last month, January 15th, 2020.
Yes. Good notice there, so thank you. There is a correction before the approval. So Gloria, yeah, if we could just correct that.
Yep.
So we will be approving, thank you, the January 15th meeting minutes.
No, wait, I think we're approving the minutes of January, and at the January meeting, we approved the minutes of the December meeting.
Yeah, this is carryover from last
Yeah.
month. I neglected to change that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I need to update that to January 15th.
Oh, okay,
Oh, got it, all right.
yep, okay.
So every.
No, wait, this
okay?
is the January 15th meeting. This is the minutes of the January 15th meeting.
Right, the agenda has December 18th.
Yeah, the
That
agenda
was-
has.
Yeah, the agenda has.
Today's agenda
The
has.
agenda for today.
Oh, today's agenda,
Yeah, so if you look,
sorry.
it's- no,
I
it's
was
okay.
looking at the,
That's all right.
sorry, I'm on the wrong. Okay.
One
That's
step
all
Got
right.
it. I'm with you.
Okay, so, okay, so now, so yeah, so if we can get that corrected, the, January 15th, are the meeting minutes that we will be, correcting. Are there any other corrections on the agenda? All right. So now, is there a move to approve the corrected agenda for today with the corrected date of January 15th? Is there a motion to approve that corrected agenda?
I make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second
Second.
that.
all right, Christiana seconds. All in favor of approving the corrected agenda for today's meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the corrected agenda is approved. Now, I'd like to move to the approval of the January 15th meeting minutes. And of course, if you have not received a copy, please let myself or Corey know, and we can get you a copy at this time. But I'd like to take a moment to review those minutes. And again, if you do have any comments, corrections, or anything that you feel should be added, please let us know at this time. Okay. Is there anyone that have any corrections for the minutes, or can I move to approve the January 15 meeting minutes? Anyone have any comments at this time? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes for January 15?
I move.
Okay, Sally moves.
I'll second it.
Okay, we do have a second. All in favor of approving the January 15 meeting minutes, say aye.
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 Okay. The meeting minutes from January 15th are approved. So now we move on to presentations. And of course, first up is the wonderful Katie Ronkevitz for the Washtenaw Library for the blind and physically disabled. So welcome, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me. I am going to start out by passing out a brochure of February events. Alrighty, so I've just got a few events in that brochure that I want to highlight that are coming up for the rest of the month. The first one is happening this upcoming Saturday, February 22nd, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. in the Downtown Library Multipurpose Room, and we're going to be talking about the roots of hip-hop music. Spotify describes hip-hop as the most listened to music in the world. We want you to join Victoria Shields for a presentation celebrating Black History Month by examining the evolution of hip-hop music from its roots in West Africa to the international music phenomena of the present. Learn about the historical and cultural elements of hip-hop, how it has given voices to youth in urban communities, and leave with a list of related book titles for children and young adults. Victoria Shields, who is doing the presentation, is a doctoral student in the Urban Education Program at Eastern Michigan University. She presents at Education and Humanities conferences on integrating the humanities into the social studies curriculum. She leads tours at both the Detroit Institute of Art and the Charles Wright Museum of African and African American History, focusing on how to use the arts to teach social and political awareness. Next up, on Sunday, February 23rd, from 2 to 4 p.m., same place in our Downtown Library Multipurpose Room, we will be learning to play Mahjong with Stuart Bagley. Mahjong is a Chinese game resembling Jin Rummy, but played with colorful tiles instead of cards. It's easy to learn and can become quite addictive. This class will start with a brief lecture, followed by a chance to play the game with continuous guidance from the instructor. The instructor, Stuart Bagley, has taught his modified and simplified version of the game to numerous groups at many different venues. He's a British World War II veteran who emigrated from Norway in 1957, leaving his position with the Fulbright Foundation in Oslo. He retired from the U of M Medical School in 1990. And then finally this month, on February 27th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. in our downtown secret lab, we're going to be making vinyl stickers, where attendees will learn to design basics of creating stickers, and then we'll be able to make them, cut them out, and we'll be using a silhouette cutting machine. So that could be fun if you're into something hands-on. I've got a couple of books that I want to talk to you about today. Just a couple things that have come on my radar lately. The first one I'm actually really excited. It's been on my reading list for a while, and I just started reading it today. So far, so good. This is called Haben, the Deafblind Woman Who Conquered Harvard Law. It's by Haben Girma, and if you are interested in the audio version of this book, she reads it as well, which I always think is nice when the author reads the audio version. This is the autobiography of the first deaf-blind graduate of Harvard Law School. Girma describes her childhood, world travels, development of a text-to-braille communication system, and her time at Harvard Law, as well as the ways that she uses her talents to advocate for those with disabilities. And I guess I'm on a memoir kick because the next two are those as well. The next one is The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. It's by Robert Iger. He is the CEO since 2005 and chairman of the Walt Disney Company. He's going to recount his tenure in this book. He shares the lessons he has learned, grouped into learning and leading, and he discusses starting at the bottom, knowing what you don't know, the power of respect, and major partnerships. And the final book that I brought today is called Touched by the Sun, My Friendship with Jackie by Carly Simon. This is a book by the singer, songwriter, and author of the previous memoir, Boys in the Trees, about how she met Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis at a party in 1983, and they soon became close. She discusses the bond they shared despite their differences and a friendship that lasted until Onassis's death in 1994. And as always, I would encourage everybody to contact us if you need to at the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled at the Ann Arbor District Library. Our email address is wlbpd@aadl.org. Our phone number is 734-327-4224. You can always visit our website at wlbpd.aadl.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Katie. And are there any questions for Katie at this time? All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.
Yep. All right. Next, we have Alex Gossage, the Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living and fellow commissioner. So welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Zach. So a lot of things going on at the CIL these days. If folks are interested in finding out more or ever need more information, you can always visit our website at www.annarborcil.org. You can also give us a call at 734-971-0277 or email us at info@aacil.org. With activities going on these days, we are working in partnership with Ballet Chelsea for a Ballet Chelsea adaptive dance program, which is Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. Build strength, improve flexibility, let your artistic side shine as we explore creative movement concepts. Make new friends and have lots of fun. Classes are free thanks to 5 Healthy Towns Foundation and the Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation. You can contact Will Purvis at wpurvis@aacil.org for more information. The Ann Arbor CIL also is working in collaboration with the Ann Arbor Rowing Club for indoor rowing going on this winter. So we are very excited for that partnership. That is going on, where did the dates go? The coaches will be there 2 times per week from 3 to 5 p.m. The dates right now are February 3rd, 6th, 10th, 13th, 17th, 20th, 24th, and 27th. And then they'll also be working in March as well on March 9th, 12th, 16th, and 19th. You can also contact Will Purvis for more information on that. We continue to have open gym hours Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You're welcome to come and join us. There is an orientation required, but other than that, not much else. Here-
Alex, I have a question.
Okay,
The orientation, is that the same, is that when you go there, can you just have an orientation, or do you have a specific thing you have to set up?
Sue, I'm sorry. Do you mind if we save questions until he's finished with his presentation?
Sure, I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going to make a note real quick to go back. Hearing loss support groups continue to meet monthly on the second Monday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. You can contact Pam McGinty at PAMC86@gmail.com for more information. As well, the MS support group continues to meet every Monday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The group facilitator for that is Jody Burton Slowens, and she can be reached at 734-663-0785. As well, the Ann Arbor CIL's General Support Group continues to meet every Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. You're welcome to just come for that at any time without having to contact anybody, but you can also reach out to Jason Jones at jjones5perad@icloud.com. Let's see, what else? The Diversibility Theater also continues to meet every Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. That is also one event where you can just go ahead and show up without needing to RSVP. And drop-in art is continuing on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 1 to 3 p.m. Trying to see if we have any of these other ones that I should mention. I think those are the big ones for today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Alex,
Yeah.
for the work that you're doing there at the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living, and for all the programs that you're offering. It really is a great place.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I did want to get back to the orientation piece. It's a
Yes.
brief orientation. You can come in and just talk with a staff person. If you've done it once before, though, you don't need to do it again.
Oh, okay,
so-
thank you.
Yeah, but definitely feel free to reach out to us, and we'll make sure that you get connected with everything that you need.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Sue, for that question. I'm sorry, I just wanted him to get through the presentation, okay? Are there any other questions for Alex regarding the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living at this time? No? Okay. Well, thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. All right. Next, we'll move forward to public comments.
Lloyd is here.
Yeah, Lloyd, do you have a, welcome Lloyd Shelton, if you don't mind coming up and introducing yourself.
Yeah, I think okay.
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
How's everybody doing?
Good,
Doing
how
well.
are you?
How are you, Lloyd? Good to see you.
See a lot of friendly faces here, it's always good. So I'm here today representing a collective over at University of Michigan. That's trying to get a disability culture center installed. And one of the things that we're doing is we're doing events, trying to raise awareness about issues related to disability. The issue I'm here before you today is a very sobering issue. It's the Disability Day of Mourning, which is an event that takes place every year on March 1st nationally, that deals with disabled folks who've been killed by family members or personal assistants. Just a little bit of background, since over the last 5 years, approximately 600 people with disabilities have been murdered by their family member and people with who were there to take care of them, staff and personal care assistants and so forth. And so what we want to do is take some time, of course, to remember folks like that who've been in that situation, who are in that situation, and think about ways to prevent it, and just taking some time to really reflect on that. And so I was sitting here today just to reach out and let you all know that we're going to be doing some things, and I'll be in touch with Sally or whoever to try and coordinate how we can work together if you guys are interested.
Well, first, Lloyd, I want to just thank you for all the work that you're doing and that you continue to do as far as advocacy for people in the disability community. I know that you are continuing to stay fully active, and we definitely appreciate that. I have a question for you about that, because I had no idea about that. I mean, has this been an ongoing problem, or have you noticed an increase in this?
Well, this is something it's very new to me as well. I just found out about this a couple months ago myself. I didn't know about it last year. There was an event that took place last year as well, but yes, it's a very sobering statistic and reality, you know.
Yeah.
600 folks being murdered by family members and folks who are there to take care of them. And so we need to make sure that these folks who are in very vulnerable positions, we're doing what we can to support them, so, yeah.
Yeah, and Lloyd, feel free to reach out to me as well, if you have my email too, and, you know, if there's any way that I can help, I'm more than willing. Anybody else have any questions for Lloyd?
Were you saying that there was an event happening on March 1st as well?
Yeah, so there's an event happening on March 1st. The issue is that the University of Michigan is out of school during March 1st for some kind of break. And so we're going to do an event locally, but then we're going to do another event once the students are back. We're still putting that together right now, but for the one on March 1st, we really want to focus on folks who are going to be in town. So we're going to be reaching out to some folks over at the CIL, see if we can work with them on this as well, and all the local folks dealing with the disabled community, the disability community.
Yeah, please, keep us informed on when both of those events are taking place, the one on March 1st as well as when the students are back, because I'm definitely interested in that as well.
Cool, sounds good.
Anything else for Lloyd? All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we're going to move on to old business. So underneath old business, of course, we are still discussing and trying to figure out where we're going to move with the crosswalk law in HB 4738. Now, I do have a little bit of news here, and Corey, thank you for keeping me abreast on that. I do appreciate it. And of course, Sally, I know that you saw the information as well, but it's come to my attention that, you know, the city is sort of kind of really waiting for our feedback to be able to sort of go forth on this. And I think, you know, it's important that, you know, all of us can come to a good consensus on this, on whether we want to support the crosswalk law sort of as is, or whether there are to be some amendments that we can then draft and put forward to city council so that they can support it as well. And of course, what I propose is that I'd like to give everyone until Sunday, February 23rd, to review the information. I did send out some information, not only with the crash data that was in the city, but also some information and a link to the crosswalk law and sort of reviewing that. And I'd like us all to just, if we can, just take a few minutes to review it and give some feedback, so that I can at least give feedback to Ms. Nelson and also City Council, so that we can at least give them an answer, you know, this coming week, to be able to get that moved forward. Is that reasonable to you guys? Go ahead, Sally.
I mean, in terms of protocol, if, well, two things. In terms of protocol, I think what, and Elizabeth, you can augment this if I'm speaking incorrectly, but I think what city council is for us to endorse their resolution.
Right.
Which means that as a body, as an advisory body, we need to vote and be in agreement
Okay.
on whether or not we're going to endorse it. I think underneath that
Right.
is, do we have any changes to the White Cane Law?
Right.
And so we need to vote on what we decide. So I think we need another meeting to do that.
Right, right.
So
Okay.
I thought we were gonna be meeting today and to discuss this and vote to
That's,
endorse.
yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping as well, but I wanted to see if we were prepared to do that today and vote on it, or if we needed more time.
So,
Go ahead, Tim.
yeah, so one thing is, I didn't see where you sent anything about the crosswalk law. You said something about the White Cane Law, but not the crosswalk law. I sent something out about the crosswalk law because I hadn't seen any discussion, and I wasn't sure I was gonna even get here for the meeting today, so I wanted to just give what I said as far as looking at the current ordinance versus what was proposed at a state level.
Right. Well, first of all, the things that I had sent out about HB 4738 were actually sent out probably last month. But again, the feedback itself has been sort of ongoing with that, but that's all right. But yes, I did send something out about the White Cane Law as well. So go ahead, Ms. Nelson.
I just wanted to add to what Sally said. I think that's my understanding of how this should go, is
Right.
if people are prepared to have a discussion, it would be helpful to take a vote and sort of arrive at a position that I can convey to council.
Yeah.
And for my part, I'm going to choose to not engage in this conversation, because I'm legitimately interested in being able to represent the views of this board.
Yeah, sure.
I have a voice when I sit at council.
Right.
And I legitimately, like, I think the question is how you feel about council's endorsing, like, up or down, how this commission feels about it. And the discussion about the White Cane Law, what do you think? I mean, is that something that council asked for feedback on?
That's what I asked for clarity from John.
This was,
And-
yeah, this was referred from.
And I think the answer I got is it's both.
Right.
Okay.
Do we have recommendations to change the White Cane Law? And if so, what are they? And then give those recommendations to city council. And then, given these changes, whether or not city council decides to move our recommendation to the state level, do they also want to change it from the traffic code to the vehicle code. So it's sort of a two-step analysis that we're doing.
Right.
And I think the way, so typically if there's here's what I recommend we do. I think a subset of this committee needs to take on the White Cane Law and its edits, and include people in the community as well. Alex, I think you and Larry, I think the White Cane Law should also include people who use wheelchairs, as an example of something you might want to consider.
Right.
And so what I would recommend is that you all get together between now and the March meeting and draft whatever it is you think needs to be changed, communicate that draft ahead of time before the March meeting, so then we have something to vote on in March.
Right.
Then, separately from that, someone needs to look at what we want to advise council on moving from the traffic code to the vehicle code.
Right.
I feel like that is less of an intensive discussion or dialogue. I think it's important to, one question I have on that is, does it make the White Cane crosswalk law more enforceable if it's part of the vehicle code? And if that's the rationale to do that, I think that, I would expect that it wouldn't be difficult coming to consensus on that question.
Okay.
But that's a separate question.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one thing, I think there's a little bit of muddled confusion here, that there's two separate issues. There's
Right.
HB 4738 and there's
Right.
the White Cane Law.
Right.
Right, so there's a crosswalk law, which is HB 478, and
Right.
then White Cane Law. Yeah.
Right.
And those are two completely separate issues.
Right. Separate.
Right.
Right.
And then, just as an aside, sorry, I
That's
think I
all right.
emailed you last night. The crash data is the same crash data we've had since 2013. It hasn't been updated since then.
Don't.
Okay.
That was what you sent to me was the same data I had from when I was on city council before, and what I had asked for was an update from 2013.
Because I didn't see anything updated, like when I.
Well, so we need to ask for it. We
Oh,
need to
okay.
ask for the data,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I'll ask for that.
Okay. And I don't know if this, I would think the city would keep it. If not the city, MDOT.
Okay. Okay. So for the record, I'll just repeat
Okay.
what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So, again, for HB 4738, basically what we'd like to do is, take a look at that, and then we'd like to have, again, if Alex and Larry don't mind reviewing that, and
No,
also
I think you mean the
reviewing
White Cane Law.
Yeah.
HB 478 is the crosswalk
Crosswalk.
ordinance.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
We're talking
Pardon
about the
me.
White Cane.
Yeah,
here.
pardon me. So if you guys don't mind reviewing the White Cane law, which is also something that we need to revise, and if you can have, again, a draft of anything that you think needs to be changed within the White Cane law in March for us to vote and approve on, that would be great. Again, as far as HB 4738 is concerned, yes, if we can come to, as you said, Sally, a good consensus on that, to sort of either support it or not, then that also would be great. And what I will do in conjunction with the crosswalk law is, again, get the updated crash data from the city and MDOT if I can, and get that to you guys as soon as possible so that we can review that. Kathleen?
I just wanted to say, when I was reviewing the crash data, and I echo what Sally said, it was out of date, I didn't see where it indicated interaction with pedestrian.
Exactly. I
And so
wasn't sure.
that is
Yeah.
really the information that we need, is
Yeah.
how
And-
do these crashes intersect with pedestrians? So that's the data that we have to have.
And
Right.
that's the data that we did have. I didn't bring it with, I found what I had from 2013. I think I forgot to put it in my bag. But that is the data that is available to us.
Okay, because what I looked at, what was sent online,
That's
it all
not-
looked like
yeah.
front end, side, and didn't say anything, it didn't
Right.
indicate have any pedestrian markers.
Right.
I'd also like to say at this time, since we're talking about this, is that I had a chance to read what Tim sent out with regards to the recommendations from the Transportation Commission, and from what I saw, I am behind that 100%.
Okay. Great. So what we'll do then at the March meeting is we'll discuss the report for the White Cane Law, and we'll also, discuss the HB 4738 and vote on both of those as well. Yes, Sue?
It's Debbie, but.
Or, sorry, Debbie.
So we will vote next month on HB 438, right?
That's correct.
Correct, okay.
But
Because
to
I
do
already-
that, someone needs to send a recommendation to council, to our commission first, so we know what we're voting on and be prepared to say. I mean, we use pretty much the same protocols as city council does.
Okay.
It's sent to you in the agenda ahead of time. You can do it on live, with a live link, but you need to write a recommendation or a resolution
Okay.
for this body to adopt and send it as an advice memo to city council.
Okay. So is there anyone that wants to write that recommendation for HB 4738?
I mean, we could have multiple people, as long as it's not enough people to trigger the Open Meetings Act, unless, of course, if we had a lot of people interested, we could call a special meeting for that, but
Sure.
I'd be interested in participating in that. I don't know if I want to, I mean.
Well, how about this?
and-
I'll partner I'll partner with you on that, Tim.
Okay.
So that we can have something sent over in preparation for the March meeting, and I'll try to get, again, that drafted with you. I'll connect with you over the phone so that we can draft something together and make sure that
Yeah,
the language is appropriate. And then, once we've gone over that, basically, who would I send that to, Sally? Would I send that to you, Ms. Nelson, to be able to send to city council?
Well, I think it-
If it needs to come to this meeting.
yeah.
Yeah,
we
you
need to
send
vote
it
on
to
it.
Corey,
No, you
and
wouldn't
Corey will send
communicate
it
it.
out.
Okay, got it.
So are you
Sorry,
gonna
didn't mean
bring,
to-
are you gonna send it in email to us so we can look at it?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay,
We need the chance to review it ahead of time so we come prepared to the meeting with comments.
exactly.
okay.
Yeah,
But I'll work with you, Tim, on that draft.
Okay,
because, yeah, I've already looked at it.
I don't,
Okay.
so we don't really have the White Cane Law on the agenda
He's
here, but
snoring.
Oh, my gosh.
No, we don't.
Your dog's not.
But I'll make sure, Corey, what I'll do is I'll make sure that it's on the March agenda so that we can have HB 4738 as well as the White Cane Law.
Yep.
And we can talk about both of those.
I'll make a note to add it right after this.
Thank you.
For next month.
Okay. Yeah, and I do apologize for my confusion
No,
in blending both of those.
yeah,
together.
it's easy to do.
Sure,
I was blending them in my head too.
right. Okay, so,
So can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
Do we have an action then agreed to about the White Cane Law verbiage?
I'll get with you, Alex.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine with doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
and then if you guys don't mind, also just CCing me once you guys have the draft.
Okay.
Awesome.
So can we have a plan to have this communication sent out to us a week before March's meeting?
Yeah.
So that we have ample time?
Sorry, just one more request too. Could you guys CC me on that recommendation as well? I believe I might need to attach it to the agenda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey, I'll make sure that once Tim and I get together and that we draft it, once we have a draft, I'll make sure to send it your way.
Thank you.
And Tim, I'll connect with you after the meeting to just schedule a time that we can talk and begin that process, okay?
okay.
All right. So I think that answers all of our questions for the HB 4738 crosswalk law as well as the white cane law. So thank you to everyone for sorting that out. Is there anything regarding that, or are we able to move forward? All right. So moving forward now, we have the city personnel report with Mr. Corey Ferris.
Per the city council vote last night to end employment, Howard Lazarus will be stepping down as city administrator on February 29th. That's the only update I have.
Is there a replacement at this time?
I'm not quite sure on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, and thank you to Howard Lazarus for his service to the city, and we definitely wish him the best. All right. Next, we have the chair report. First thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was I did attend the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Focus Group earlier this month, February 6th, with Dr. Shirley Davis. And I have to tell you guys, it was a phenomenal focus group. There were other commissions that were represented. I think one was housing, the other one was, I can't remember the exact name of it. I don't want to say Human Rights Commission, but it was something to that effect. And it was a wonderful and informative focus group. And of course, there will be more of those focus groups coming up. And so what I'll make sure to do as well is forward you guys that. And of course, in ample time so that you guys can check your schedules. But I'm hoping that we can have a good presence at the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion focus groups there, because I think a lot of you have great ideas on what diversity is and what inclusion means in the city of Ann Arbor. And of course, Dr. Shirley, and the reason those folks are there is to be able to revise that and make sure that what we're doing, or what the city is doing rather, is sort of going by those definitions of what diversity and inclusion are. So I encourage all of us, as Sherry Sell of the city organizes those and continues to organize those focus groups, I encourage us to attend those. Also, I would like to report that there are some commissioners whose terms, of course, have ended or are ending. And of course, Corey has sent out some reminders to those commissioners that your terms have now expired. Now, I'd like to say that if you guys are encouraged or want to continue and stay on for another term of the commission, I encourage you to email him and let him know so that you can move forward with the process to be appointed for another term. And of course, unfortunately, if you are not able to stay on for another term and must step down, that you let Corey know as well. And of course, while we're on this topic, I know, Sally, that you'll be stepping down as vice chairman, and that is sad, but we will miss you, but of course.
Thank you. Just clarification, they haven't expired yet. They
okay.
they expire
you.
on May 31st.
Yeah, end of May.
Yeah, end of May. So,
Great.
yeah, thank you. I'm actually going to be out of town on the March meeting, but I'll be here for the April and May, so the May will be my last meeting. And I've been on this commission for about 8 years.
Wow.
Almost as long as Larry. Larry's the
Almost.
longest serving commissioner we've had. Larry's never missed a meeting. I wish I could say the same, but I can't. But I just think it's time to create some openings.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, again, it's gonna be big shoes to fill, Sally, with you being gone. But we'll definitely do all that we can to get the most out of you in April and May,
Okay,
for sure.
there you go.
So thank you for your service. And so yeah, good to know that they do not expire until May, Corey. But please make sure you get back with Corey if you want to be able to continue, and which I hope that you guys do. Let's see. Anything else? That is all I have for the chair report at this time. All right. Now, we have the Community Engagement Committee, Ann Arbor Inclusive Update, of course. Rachel Hawkins is not here, and I do apologize. I was not notified that she was not going to be here. So I do not have, I was emailed the inclusive report, but she was as well, and so I did not have the Ann Arbor Inclusive Update for you at this time. But what I will do is that if she is not able to be at the March meeting, I will give you the Ann Arbor Inclusive Update for March. So, and thank you to Tom Hoatland, the Community Television Network, and Linda Evans for doing a great job with that. All right. Next, we have the Partners in Access Committee, Mr. Larry Keeler.
Yeah, that would be me.
That's right.
No, we didn't, we ended up not having a meeting because there was some issue as to, I put out a message and there was some issue as to the day and time it was put out. And Miss Debbie showed up here on Tuesday, and the thing was for Wednesday, but I think I had set it for Wednesday. I think I had said something like Wednesday the 11th or something like that, so I think she got the 11th part, and, you know, so it was messed up, and she had something else to do, and I just canceled the thing because it was gonna be hard to get against, but we still gotta make an agenda, and our next official meeting is the second Wednesday of April. Council chambers, and before that, I'd like to put together a good agenda, and maybe we could, if we need to call a meeting, we can do that somewhere. But that's all I got.
Okay,
The second Wednesday of April.
okay.
I can't remember the date right offhand, but I can send you, and I can send Alex the calendar. I can forward you guys both the calendar of the meetings for the rest of the year. Next time, we'll have us an agenda, and we'll have some items to discuss.
And the second Wednesday of April, Larry, is going to be the 8th.
Well, thank you.
You're
Wow,
welcome.
that is,
At least I'm on top of something.
okay, there you go.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Larry. Next, we have recruiting activity, and that's Larry Keeler.
I don't know who that is, man. No, I did nothing last month, but I think now, knowing that, that we may have vacant positions possible coming up, I think I should get together with you, Ms. Nelson, and go through what we were talking about earlier, about trying to see what the procedure would be to contact people that would be still on that have their applications in, and start reviewing some of those for the coming spring.
I agree. And actually, since I can log into it right this minute, I logged in a few minutes ago, and we have 2 applications. So Larry, you and I can talk about that.
Yeah.
There's at least one that's new, like completely new.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, so we can talk about that.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful. All right. And underneath recruiting activity, we have the improving communication between city and the commission regarding new commissioners, and you guys covered that, so.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Next, we have the Transportation Commission update, Mr. Tim Hall.
Yeah, so I know part of it is we did have that discussion about HB 4738 and passed a resolution that I actually sent a link out to, and I was bringing my comments on that. And aside from that, we got, at the next meeting, we have the Comprehensive Transportation Plan update, and they're going to also talk about the Micromobility Committee coming back, and like to bring up some issues there about accessibility, and also like hopefully they can, I know that one thing that came to my attention is that the scooter companies actually require a driver's license, despite the fact that scooters don't actually require a driver's license to operate. At least that's what my understanding was, that that might in fact be the case, and see about, I think, need to look into that, and that's just my own personal thing as far as something I wanted to bring up if the micromobility They're also going to talk about the street and sidewalk millage renewal, which is coming up. Discussion about whether they could possibly add new things into that, like building new sidewalks rather than just maintaining.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, so that, I guess, is generally, that meeting is, as usual, later tonight, and, all right, that's about what I had to say. We had the annual report for our commission as was released and passed at the last meeting, and.
Okay. So Kathleen, you have a
Oh.
question, then I'll get to you, Larry.
You probably should, yeah.
Okay, my mic doesn't want to turn on.
It's your
Oh, there it
microphone.
goes.
Okay.
So I have a question. I'm sure people in the community would like to know this as well. I'm very concerned with the state of the sidewalks downtown. They're deplorable, and they have been for a while. Do people who are concerned about this come to the Transportation Commission to discuss them? Or is it better for them to go to the DDA, who is responsible for maintaining? Or does the DDA, I'm not quite sure what their purview is. Are they responsible for the sidewalks? Or how does that fall out? And what is the best way for a citizen to air their concerns and to bring these concerns forward?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know the DDA does have like some role in the sidewalks downtown, but I'm not sure if that's 100% or just part of it. But yeah, I mean, the Transportation Commission's is kind of an advisory body. I know you might get a little more traction bringing it up at the DDA and/or City Council, but yeah, I mean, it might be worth looking into. I've just wasn't aware of anything particular downtown compared to anywhere else, like as far as sidewalks. I mean,
I have something to add to this that may be a side issue. I would highly recommend that if you identify a sidewalk that is problematic, like that's particularly alarming, that you find a way to report it to A2Fix It. Ideally, like submit a picture. The reason I mention this is, and again, it's sort of a side issue, I sit on the Board of Insurance, and it, quite literally, the city is more liable for not addressing a problem that there's proof that they're made aware of. So that everybody should be filing as many reports as they possibly can about the poor condition of sidewalks that you see in the city, because the city has a huge incentive to address that problem as quickly as possible, so they're not liable for somebody, tripping and falling. That's just sort of a little inside baseball. It's a very good idea, if you can, to alert the city.
Well, and on that point, Elizabeth, not just tripping and falling, but damaging their wheelchair, damaging their equipment.
Right, right.
Yep. Larry, you have a comment?
Yeah, before we stray from the Transportation Committee, last winter, you appointed me to sit down, you had me sit down on the Micromobility Committee. And I did meet with the first one. We went over a lot of statistics and stuff, and, statistics on how often these things are being used and where they're being used.
Sure.
And all that kind of stuff. In the second meeting, I actually missed. We're going to update, they're trying to pass an ordinance to
yeah.
regulate these things, but so far, we haven't made much headway on it. We sent it in, and it got sent back for legal over the summer, came back to us, and now we're gonna be working on it. I missed the second meeting because I had a horrible cold. So, I'll keep you updated.
Okay, so you're still in touch with them?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think Eli probably gave me the cold. I sat next to him.
all right. I did want to add one more thing. This isn't actually the Transportation Commission, but it's transportation related. I do know, because I'm also on the RTA Citizens Advisory Committee, and they actually are preparing to introduce a new express bus service between Detroit and Ann Arbor. And
Okay.
I think they're going to
With that.
approve it at their upcoming meeting, which is, I believe, tomorrow. But they've already got a draft schedule. They've had a couple public meetings, and I think the fare is going to be $8 each way rather than the original 12 that was proposed. And it's going to be, I believe, nonstop from Lake Transit Center to, what is it, Grand Circus Park in Detroit.
Really? Wow.
Run like 12 times a day on weekdays and like 4 on weekends or something like that.
Wow,
Wow.
that's convenient. Kathleen, you have a comment?
I actually have a question. I know that they were considering having some sort of, quid pro quo is the wrong word. But so you purchase your ticket, you get, let's say from Ann Arbor to Detroit, you land in Grand Circus Park, to have that first initial transfer. Or you come from Detroit to Ann Arbor, and there was talk about having your ticket being able to be, like, to be able to use Ann Arbor transportation for the first time
Sure.
as a transfer. Do you know if that's part of the language? Have they just made any decisions on that?
I have not heard anything about that. I've just heard what was originally presented to us and then what they updated on the website recently. I mean, I could see if there's any new info, if they've posted their agenda for their meeting, but I checked, I believe this morning, and that agenda wasn't up yet.
Is it supposed to be accessible?
I haven't heard it. They're using the same buses that Air Ride uses, so I'm.
Air Ride is accessible.
Yeah.
At least that's my understanding.
Okay. All right. Anything else under the Transportation Commission, or can we move forward? Great. All right, next we have the UM Council for Disability Concerns meeting update. Kathleen?
Thank you. So this last meeting in January, I was not able to attend, but it was a pretty long meeting with only one major thing on the agenda, and that was Dr. Michelle Mead, PhD Associate Professor from the Department of Physical Medicine and Rehab at Michigan Medicine, University of Michigan Medicine, gave a wonderful presentation with regards to the IDEAL RRTC at the University of Michigan. And what that means is IDEAL stands for Investigating Disability Factors and Promoting Environmental Access for Healthy Living. And RRTC stands for Rehabilitation Research and Training Center. So the general topic is healthy aging for individuals, with comprising a series of interdisciplinary research projects with representatives from the University of the School of Medicine, School of Engineering, and other schools at the University of Michigan. In the study of this role of environmental impact on accessibility, part of the project is a wish to create a national resource center, an actual physical space with a library, computer access, that will provide training and activities and technical assistance to the disability community. However, there is no location. This is all just in the discussion phases right now.
Okay.
The next meeting is available to all who wish to attend, public and all. It is held at the Rackham Building on, I believe that's on here on there, March 10th. It's a Tuesday. It's always held the second Tuesday of every month at noon, and all are welcome.
Thank you, Kathleen, and thank you for the work that you're doing with
Rackham.
the UM Council and all the work that you guys are doing. Great group of people over there, and thank you very much. All right. So next, we have announcements. Are there any announcements that anyone would like to bring forward at this time? I do have one, but I'll wait a moment if anybody have any other announcements. Okay. The one announcement that I do have, and of course I'll say this at the March meeting as well, but I just wanted to put this out there, that the University of Michigan Army-Navy wheelchair basketball game is all set. That'll be March 28th at Chrysler Center. And I believe tip-off is going to be at noon, but I will have the full details for you in March, but put March 28th, Chrysler Center on your calendar. It's going to be a great event, and of course, benefiting not only our veterans, but of course, the disability community as well. So I'll plan to be there, and hopefully you guys can be there as well. And of course, as it gets closer to the event, I will make sure to send that out to you guys in a timely manner as well. So that's all I have. Anything else? All right. Any new business that anyone would like to address at this time? All right. Well, in that case, I'd like to adjourn today's meeting. I'd like to thank all of you for attending today, and we will see you in March. Thank you to CTN and all of the city.